You've declared war on yourself, haven't you? Every morning, it's the same battle. The alarm goes off and the negotiations begin. The person you want to be, the disciplined, productive, healthy one, is at war with the person you actually are, the one who just wants to hit snooze. You fight this war with willpower, with motivation, with shame. You tell yourself, today will be different. You try to force yourself to be better. But by the end of the day, you've lost again. The workout didn't happen. The project is still untouched. The promises you made to yourself are broken, and you are left with the bitter and familiar taste of your own failure. In the next few minutes, the brilliant thinker on habits, James Clear, is going to call a ceasefire. He's going to show you that the war you are fighting is a war you can never win, because you are fighting against your own biology. He will reveal that the problem is not that you are weak or lazy or undisciplined. The problem is that you have been given the wrong battle plan, and you'll soon know how to stop fighting against your brain and how to start working with it. You will learn how to become the architect of your own habits, designing a life where the right choices become the easiest choices, and discipline becomes not a struggle, but a natural and effortless side effect. Part 1. The war you can't win. Your brain versus your goals. Let's start with the truth that is both liberating and deeply uncomfortable. Your brain does not care about your goals. It does not care about your ambition to get a promotion, or to learn a new language, or to get a six-pack. Your brain, the result of millions of years of evolution, has one primary and non-negotiable directive: survive. And its prime strategy for survival is the conservation of energy. Think about your ancestors living on the savannah. For them, wasting energy was a death sentence. Every calorie was precious. The brain that was most likely to survive was the brain that was best at finding the path of least resistance, the brain that chose rest over unnecessary effort, the brain that prioritized immediate rewards, like finding a berry bush, over long-term, abstract goals, like building a better shelter for next year. That ancient and deeply efficient and fundamentally lazy software is still running in your head right now. So, when you try to force yourself to go to the gym after a long day at work, your brain doesn't see a noble act of self-improvement. It sees a completely insane waste of precious energy. It sees a threat to its prime directive, and it will do everything in its power to stop you. It will flood you with feelings of fatigue. It will whisper seductive suggestions of the comfortable couch and the warm blanket and the endless, effortless scroll of social media. It will, in short, try to get you to do what it was designed to do, the easiest thing. This is the war. On one side, you have your conscious, modern, goal-oriented mind, which wants you to be a disciplined, productive superhuman. On the other side, you have a 2-million-year-old survival machine, which wants you to be a lazy, energy-conserving hunter-gatherer, and you have been trying to win this war with the most overrated and unreliable weapon in the human arsenal: willpower. Willpower is like a muscle. It gets tired. You might be able to win the battle in the morning when you are fresh and motivated, but by the end of the day, after 1,000 small decisions and 1,000 small stresses, your willpower is exhausted. And when willpower fails, your brain's ancient automatic programming takes over. And that programming will always, always, always choose the path of least resistance. It will choose the pizza over the salad. It will choose Netflix over the book. It will choose the snooze button over the sunrise. This is not a moral failing. It is a biological certainty. As James Clear says, you are not lazy, you are just human. And trying to overcome your own fundamental human nature with sheer force of will is like trying to hold back the tide with a bucket. It is a noble and exhausting and ultimately futile struggle. Part 2. The architect of your actions. Your environment is your destiny. So, if willpower is not the answer, what is? The answer lies in a radical and deeply empowering shift in perspective. The problem is not the soldier, you. The problem is the battlefield, your environment. The most disciplined people are not the ones with the most willpower. They are the ones who have designed an environment where they don't need willpower. They are not fighting a war against their own brain. They have signed a peace treaty with it. They have become, as James Clear would say, the architects of their own choices. Let's go back to the gym example. You want to work out in the morning. In a poorly designed environment, your gym clothes are in a drawer, your sneakers are in the closet, your water bottle is in the kitchen, and your phone, with its infinite and delicious distractions, is on your nightstand. To get to the gym, you have to overcome a dozen small points of friction. Each one requires a small expenditure of willpower, and your brain, the master of energy conservation, will use every single one of those points of friction as an excuse to stay in bed. Now, let's redesign the environment. The night before, you lay out your gym clothes right next to your bed. You put your sneakers by the door. You fill your water bottle and put it in the fridge. You leave your phone in another room, and you put your alarm clock across the bedroom, so you have to physically get out of bed to turn it off. What have you done? You have systematically removed the friction. You have made the path to the desired behavior the path of least resistance. You have made going to the gym easier than not going to the gym. You have stopped fighting your brain and you have started seducing it. You have made the right choice the easy choice. And when the right choice is the easy choice, your brain doesn't resist. It complies. This is the secret. Discipline is not about making the right choice. It is about making the right choice obvious, attractive, and easy. It is about behavioral engineering, not moral superiority. Want to read more? Don't hide your book on a shelf. Leave it on your pillow. Want to eat healthier? Don't hide the fruit in the bottom of the fridge. Put it in a bowl on the counter. Want to stop wasting time on your phone? Don't rely on self-control. Delete the apps that are stealing your life. You are creating a world for yourself where you are constantly and gently and almost unconsciously nudged in the direction of your own highest goals. You are rigging the game in your own favor. You are accepting the fundamental laziness of your own brain, and you are using it to your advantage. You are treating your future self not as a soldier to be commanded, but as a customer to be served. And you are making the product you want them to buy, the life you want them to live, the most attractive and accessible and irresistible product on the shelf. This is not a trick. This is not a hack. This is a deep and profound and deeply compassionate understanding of how human beings actually work. And it is the key to unlocking a level of consistency and progress and peace that you have only, until now, dreamed of. Part 3. The domino effect. Habits that build themselves. Okay, so you've redesigned your environment. You've made the right choices the easy choices. But how do you make those choices stick? How do you turn a single good decision into a lifelong automatic habit? The answer lies in another of James Clear's brilliant and devastatingly effective concepts: habit stacking. Your life is already a series of habits. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you make coffee, you check your phone. These are habit loops that are so deeply ingrained in your brain that you perform them without any conscious thought or effort. They are the existing and powerful currents in the river of your daily life. Instead of trying to create a new current from scratch, which requires a massive amount of energy, habit stacking teaches you to simply and cleverly divert the existing ones. You stack a new, desired habit on top of an existing, automatic one. The existing habit becomes the cue for the new one. For example, After I pour my morning cup of coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. After I take off my work shoes, I will immediately change into my workout clothes. After I sit down to dinner, I will say one thing I'm grateful for that day. Do you see the genius of this? You are eliminating the biggest barrier to forming a new habit, the decision to start. You are no longer relying on a reminder, or on motivation, or on a sudden burst of inspiration. The cue for your new habit is an action you are already going to perform anyway. You are hijacking your own automatic behaviors to build a better version of yourself. You are using the momentum of your existing habits to carry you almost effortlessly into your new ones. To make this even more powerful, you must follow the 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Read every day becomes read 1 page. Do yoga becomes take out my yoga mat. Study for the exam becomes open my notes. Why? Because a habit must be established before it can be improved. The goal, in the beginning, is not to achieve a result. The goal is to become the kind of person who shows up. The goal is to make the action automatic. You are not trying to write a novel. You are trying to become a writer. And a writer is someone who writes, even if it's just 1 sentence a day. You are building the foundation. You are casting a vote for your new identity. And once the habit of showing up is established, you can then, and only then, begin to improve it. This is how you build a system of habits. A system that is not dependent on your mood, or your motivation, or your fleeting and unreliable willpower. You are creating a series of small and interconnected and almost invisible dominoes. And every day when you perform your existing habits, you are tipping over the first domino and setting off a chain reaction of positive and productive and life-changing behaviors. You are not trying to be disciplined. You are simply and automatically and almost unconsciously living a disciplined life. The system is doing the work for you. Part 4, the end of forcing, the power of identity. We have arrived at the deepest and most transformative layer of this entire philosophy. You can redesign your environment. You can stack your habits. You can follow the 2-minute rule, and you will see results. But if you want those results to last, if you want to move from simply doing disciplined things to being a disciplined person, you must make one final and crucial shift. You must change not just what you do, but who you believe you are. True and lasting behavioral change is identity change. Most people, when they try to change, focus on the outcome. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to write a book. I want to get a promotion. But the most effective way to change is to focus not on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become. The goal is not to run a marathon. The goal is to become a runner. The goal is not to write a book. The goal is to become a writer. The goal is not to learn an instrument. The goal is to become a musician. Why is this so powerful? Because every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. When you choose to run, even when it's cold and raining, you are not just exercising. You are casting a vote for your identity as a runner. When you choose to write 1 page, even when you are tired and uninspired, you are not just writing. You are casting a vote for your identity as a writer. When you choose to practice for 5 minutes, even when you sound terrible, you are not just practicing. You are casting a vote for your identity as a musician. These small and seemingly insignificant actions are the building blocks of your new identity. They are the proof that you are providing to your own brain that you are, in fact, the kind of person you want to be. And when your beliefs and your actions are aligned, the struggle ceases. You are no longer trying to force yourself to do something that is out of character. You are simply acting in accordance with who you are. It is no longer a chore to go for a run. It is simply what a runner does. It is no longer a struggle to write. It is simply what a writer does. Your habits become a natural, an effortless expression of your identity. This is the end of the war. This is the end of forcing. This is the moment when you realize that discipline was never the goal. Discipline is simply a side effect of a well-designed environment, a side effect of a well-designed system of habits, and most importantly, a side effect of a well-chosen identity. You have stopped trying to be someone you are not, and you have started becoming someone you truly are. You have stopped fighting against the river of your own nature, and you have learned to flow with it. And in that flow, you have found a power and a peace and a freedom that willpower could never, ever give you. So, I ask you, who do you want to become? And what is one small 2-minute action you can take right now to cast a vote for that new identity? The journey of 1,000 miles does not begin with a single step. It begins with a single vote. Cast yours now. Let's go deeper into this biological programming. This isn't just a preference. It's a survival algorithm carved into your neural circuitry over millennia. Every time you choose the couch over the treadmill, you are not being weak. Your brain is running a program called success. Why? Because for 99.9% of human history, unnecessary movement was a direct threat to survival. The ancestor who lounged in the cave while others chased shadows was the one who had energy reserves when a real threat or a real meal appeared. You have inherited the brain of a champion energy conserver. This brain operates on a simple, brutal, and highly effective cost-benefit analysis, where the cost is energy expenditure and the benefit is immediate gratification, dopamine. A 5-mile run, massive cost, 0 immediate benefit. A 5-minute scroll on TikTok, 0 cost, massive immediate benefit. In the ruthless mathematics of survival, the choice is not a choice at all. It's a foregone conclusion. This is why the entire industry of motivation is a multi-billion-dollar failure. It is trying to solve a hardware problem with a software patch. A motivational speech is a temporary and flimsy piece of code that tries to override a deeply embedded and ruthlessly efficient operating system. It might work for a day or a week if you're lucky. But the moment you are tired or stressed or hungry, the system reboots to its factory settings. And the factory setting is always and forever the path of least resistance. The war is not you against your laziness. The war is you, a 21st century aspiring god, against the ghost of a starving caveman that lives inside your skull. And the caveman, when it comes to energy, always wins. The concept of choice architecture is one of the most important psychological ideas of our time. It is the invisible hand that guides your behavior every single day. The layout of your kitchen is a choice architect. The home screen of your phone is a choice architect. The order of items on a menu is a choice architect. And right now, your life is probably being architected by people and corporations who do not have your best interests at heart. The engineers at Instagram are masters of choice architecture. They have designed a world where the most addictive and least fulfilling content is always one thumb flick away. The executives at Coca-Cola are masters of choice architecture. They pay billions to ensure their product is at eye level in every supermarket in the world. They are not trying to convince you with logic. They are seducing your ancient, energy-conserving brain with the path of least resistance. So, you have a choice. You can continue to be a passive victim of an environment that is designed to make you weak and sick and distracted. Or you can become the architect. You can declare sovereignty over your own space. You can treat your home, your office, your phone, not as a passive backdrop, but as an active instrument of your own transformation. This is not about tidying up. This is about strategic and ruthless environmental design. It is about asking a simple and powerful question of every object in your life. Are you making me better, or are you making me worse? If the television in your bedroom is making you worse, get it out. If the cookies on your counter are making you worse, get them out. If the social media apps on your phone are making you worse, get them out. You are not depriving yourself. You are liberating yourself. You are creating a sacred space, a dojo of discipline, where your best self is not just a possibility, but an inevitability. Habit stacking is not just a clever trick. It is a deep understanding of how the brain learns. The brain is a connection machine. It learns by associating new information with existing information. When you stack a new habit onto an old one, you are creating a new neural pathway that is directly adjacent to a well-worn superhighway of a neural pathway. The electrical impulse of the old habit literally jumps the tracks and begins to flow down the new one. You are not building a new road from scratch in the middle of a dense forest. You are simply building a small and convenient off-ramp from a road that is already carrying millions of cars a day. The 2-minute rule is the key that unlocks this entire process. Why? Because it completely bypasses the brain's threat detection system. A goal like run 5 miles is a huge and terrifying and energy-intensive monster. The brain sees it, panics, and floods you with resistance. A goal like put on my running shoes is a tiny and harmless and almost laughably easy mouse. The brain barely even notices it. It requires almost zero energy. There is no threat. And so, there is no resistance. But the magic of the 2-minute rule is that the smallest action creates momentum. And momentum is the antidote to inertia. Once you have your running shoes on, the next step, walking out the door, is a little bit easier. And once you are outside, the next step, running to the end of the block, is a little bit easier still. You have tricked your brain into starting, and starting, as anyone who has ever procrastinated knows, is always the hardest part. You are not trying to build a wall. You are just laying one perfectly and effortlessly placed brick, and you are doing it again and again and again. And one day, you look up and you have built a fortress